Jeff is full of life. He's a big guy with a big heart. When he walks in the room, he just lightens up the room. Jeff has probably been giving platelets for probably a good 20 years, and that's when I first met him.
Somebody brought up the fact that the bone marrow registry was needing more participants, more registrants. Then about a month later or two, I got a call from Paulette Del Vecchio from the bone marrow registry. And she said, "You're a match." And I went, "You gotta be kidding me." And she goes, "No." So we went down, and that took several, actually months, by the time they were done drawing blood from me and typing everything. And at that time, that was my first match, and they found out I was a 6 out of 6 antigen match, which was pretty rare. Then I matched again and gave autologous units, and that didn't happen. And then a fourth and a fifth time, and then the sixth time I matched, I will tell you that there was just an unusual sense about it from the beginning. And I felt kind of connected to whoever it was that was going to be receiving the stem cells.
I was 5 years old when I got leukemia and relapsed 3 times. In November, we first found out that I needed a stem cell transplant, but by February, we already had 6 matches for donors, and Jeff was the first one to respond and say that he'd donate.
It took place just like a platelet donation. They drew off a pint of blood and grabbed the stem cells they wanted and put the rest back, and by the time I left there, I went from feeling terrible, like I had a flu and a cold, to feeling 100%. And I remember Rose giving me a O. Henry bar or something like that, and just having that candy bar on the way out of the med center and thinking, this is going to be a glorious day. 5 years later, he's still alive. He's a senior, I think, senior this year in high school. He's driving and giving his parents the appropriate amount of teenager fits, which is cool.
I'd have to say I'm very grateful for Jeff because he's someone I can trust and someone who has saved my life, and he's just an all-around great guy.
When he gets my stem cells, he got my DNA, so he's got my allergies and he's got more of my characteristics than his parents probably wish he did. I'd sent a letter with the product. I do remember telling him that one of my favorite snacks is peanuts, and that he'd probably grow to like peanuts over time because it had to be genetic, because I just have always loved them. And before they'd read my letter, the product was already being given, and he came out from under the covers and he asked his mom and dad if he could have a pop and a bag of peanuts. And he asked that before my letter was read. And so they're reading the letter, and you can imagine the Twilight Zone moment in the room when all of a sudden it said, "You may like peanuts," because I looked at each other like, Junior's never asked for peanuts before.
We first got to meet Jeff a year after the transplant, and my family and I were quite nervous because it was somebody else that we didn't know. It was just some random person out of nowhere. But after the week went on, the meeting went very well, and we got to know the family and basically adopted them into our family. I gotta love you because you're someone out there who actually cares, and that saved my life, and I have to thank you, and there's not much more that I can say, but thank you.